Hello, we are the Stop Wearing My Clothes podcast. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kayla. One podcast, two sisters. You'd think we'd get better at that.
This is episode 41. We're doing week 7 hometown recaps. So something new is our episodes are going to be coming out on Fridays instead of the previous Wednesdays. So look forward to that with the rest of this season as well as during Bachelor in Paradise. So this weekend, Kayla was actually in town and we were together.
Yes, so you might have noticed we had no social media activity. So we decided to just enjoy each other's company, and I didn't force her to make videos all weekend.
But it was also my son's 2nd birthday, so it was Jack's birthday. Happy birthday to Jack. I now have a 2-year-old.
We had a bouncy house, and I've never had so much fun in my life. And I'm thinking for my 30th birthday, I'm going to get one of, Amy said that there's like a mega bouncy house where there's like obstacle courses. Do you think I could fit that in my front yard? Or maybe it'd be tight. I kind of have a small yard.
Debatable. You might be able
but my back still hurts, but it was worth it.
You're really going to have to take a couple days to recover afterwards.
Yes. And then we also met our new brother, who has a 29 and 27 year age difference, a little baby Asa. So that was fun. We got to see our dad, which we don't see very often. And we played the Parent Trap. We played it hard. This was like our first kind of family event with both of our mom and our dad.
Yeah, probably since we were like 18.
Yeah, because, I mean, we did weddings and stuff, but it's, like, so huge. Oh, yeah. This was a more intimate, like, party with both of them. So we were really excited. It's like we've been trying to get that to happen for so long. Yeah. So we're really excited about that. And, oh, yes, let's talk about what we're currently watching, because we don't just watch The Bachelorette. I know it's hard to imagine. But a reminder also, I'm doing a 30-day challenge of currently watching on my personal account at Kayla Galloway 21. So Amy, what are you currently watching like right now?
Okay, well actually I just watched a movie, which I know is not what we're talking about. But
go for it.
What is that movie called with Lily Reinhart? Do you remember?
Oh, the one on Netflix is like Switch Up or no, I don't remember the name. But it's Lily Reinhart. It's on Netflix.
Yes. So good. And actually, Kayla, I think you can handle it. It was good. I actually really enjoyed it. I think it just shows like 2 different paths of life and just like, it's just good. I just liked it. I really enjoyed it. If you're just kind of bored and you want to watch a movie, that's a good one. Okay. Also, I'm watching In the Dark, which is
mentioned that
one of my faves. But I mean, it is kind of, they're really dragging it on, but there's still more drama to be had. So I'm excited about it.
And because you don't watch TV in bed, right?
No. Okay. I have a TV in my room.
Gotcha. I'm a big TV.
It's like a rule.
In bed.
Well, we do other things.
I get it. I get it. Me and Marcus has to get up really early, and so I get bored sometimes, so I watch TV. Yeah. But right now, I am currently, I mentioned it later on in the show too, but Jersey Shore Family Vacation. I'm on season 4. Season 4 kind of sucks, but I'm sticking in there for season 5 because Snooki quit. So just for that, yeah. So the party is not here. And then I just 2 days ago binge watched, and I binged it hard till 3 a.m. The Summer I Turned Pretty on Amazon Prime. And it's a trilogy. It's a book series. I've never read them, so I like really went in with only knowing there's a love triangle. It exceeded, I can't overhype it enough. I've never felt this way about a series like that in so long. Like full on Team Edward, Team Jacob status. Highly recommend. And Amy, please.
I want to watch it really bad.
So we can talk about it.
I have to get Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, I'll just give you my password.
Oh, don't say that on here. They might block your account or something.
Oh, I am not going to give Amy my password. And don't check my TikTok because there's spoiler alerts on there. If you haven't watched it yet, just swipe through those. So yeah, those are the main things I'm watching right now too.
Yeah, and actually, I would love suggestions because I feel like I've just been going through shows so fast that now I'm just kind of at like I'm just like watching shows to watch them, you know, what that feeling, and
Totally.
I hate that. So give me some advice, guys. I need your help.
Yep. TV watching serious business. All right, and I guess the only other thing that we need to talk about is our special guest. Okay, so we have special guests next week. We've had them on before, and they've been a big hit. But our husbands, Jared and Marcus, will be on the Men Tell All episode doing our recap next week because our men will also tell all. So we're looking forward to that. It's the first time this season that they'll be talking. They've been watching along this whole time, and I think Jared said he's more invested once it gets towards like the end. So we wanted to make sure they were fully invested before we got them on here. So we'll have like the guy's point of view, and it'll be fun. So we're excited about that. And on to reality TV news. I know this is a Bachelor recap, but we also on our TikTok talk about Selling Sunset, Love is Blind. So we have some big news there. We have our second divorce on Love is Blind, Danielle and Nick. We don't really know what happened. They unfollowed each other on Instagram, and it's a whole thing. And then we found out that Christine Quinn is not going to be on the next 2 seasons of Selling Sunset, which I'm shocked because, like, yeah, Chriselle Staus is really the main star, but, like, Christine Quinn is almost, it makes sense because I think she's kind of, like, rose above the show a little bit. Like, she was, like, a model with Kim Kardashian at the Balenciaga fashion shoot. So will be interesting on what they'll talk about, what the storylines is, because the past 2 seasons, the storyline has been Christine Quinn. Another exciting thing happened. Tell them what happened this morning.
Oh, she commented on our Instagram reel. Right?
Yes. And I really feel like she's like the biggest reality star who has come to our page.
Yeah,
so
we basically made it.
Yeah. Yes. Fangirled hard. And now moving on to Bachelor news. All right. We got a big wedding.
Sarah and Wells.
Yes, Wells Adam, the bartender for Bachelor in Paradise and former Bachelor and Bachelorette star, and Sarah Hyland, the star of Modern Family.
Okay, later on this will make sense. So just listen now. My second guy is Wells Adams.
Ooh,
for Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Oh, that's good. You're totally.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we play a game called Mount Rushmore at the end of the episode, and you'll get it. All right, and so I mean, really, the who's who of everyone in Bachelor Nation is there, but I actually watched like a duet, like some TikTok video, and like it's really funny because it's like A-listers are there, and then like Bachelor Nation. So it was really like they were doing like Vogue was there, like it was quite the event. And it was at a like beautiful winery. And I really, if I were to get married again, it would be at a winery. I always thought I was going to do that, but you know, things just, life happens, and I ended up using a ballroom, but it just looked beautiful.
And she means, which I hope this is what she means when she like remarries Marcus again, not like if she...
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I thought that was obvious. But speaking of that, so if you see, my ring is off because I got like a crazy, I had a crazy rash under my wedding ring. But when I took it off, Marcus was like, yeah, I mean, have you ever thought about getting another one? And I was like, So I think he's going, and I told him, he was like, if I got another wedding ring, I would need another proposal. And he's like, okay. So our wedding anniversary is coming up October 8th, and I think I'm going to get a new wedding ring and a new proposal. So Amy, help me out with that.
Okay, are you going to have him, like, trade your ring in, probably?
Can you do that?
Or, yeah, you can trade, like, get the value of the diamonds and stuff, probably.
Interesting. I don't know. I kind of have some sentimental feelings towards that, because it's, like, my ring he gave me when he was just, like, a college kid and couldn't afford anything, and he spent all of his money on my ring. I just think it's very sweet. But at the same time, like, I don't really like the diamond industry now versus when I got engaged. Like, I'm really, like, not into it. So I've been looking into, like, handmade diamonds and, like, ones that are, like, ethically good.
You should look at Modern Gentleman, too.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of that brand. I don't actually know, though, if it's just, like, not real. Like, I don't really know the difference between all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they're beautiful rings.
Yeah,
But
I'll check
I
it
know
out.
it's not real diamond, but
So that was kind of a swerve, but I was just really excited about it, and I haven't told Amy yet. And then a Nate update. He was on the Bachelor's. I mean, he wasn't on it. On the Bachelors and City podcast, Nate's friends, Dustin and Peter Weber, I guess talked in his defense. I don't know, Amy. You listened to with me. We watched it together. We listened to it together when I was in town.
Personally think it was BS.
It made it worse.
They're basically trying to, instead of like setting the record straight, which is what I assumed it was going to be, it was basically more of just like he didn't do anything wrong.
And talking crap about the ladies, which I don't condone.
Yeah, it was like, oh, well, what was even their excuse for it? It was like weird.
Yeah, they said that the girl, it wasn't the type of girl to like.
She was a party girl, so therefore you're allowed to cheat and date multiple women without telling them? Okay.
Yeah.
No, it was just very odd and a weird way to try to defend it, and like, whatever if you're friends, but sometimes you just gotta say, man, you were wrong.
Totally. One thing that I thought was interesting, though, I saw a clip since Men Tell All was already recorded. Like a lot of times they do like little interviews, like behind the scenes type stuff. And there was one with Gabby who she talks about the Nate thing. And she said she will have his back 100% no matter what. And she stands by him. So I'm very interested in what's going to happen on the Men Tell All. And it makes me feel better that Gabby feels good about it. And maybe makes me less on the defense with him. Just because I like Gabby so much. But that's kind of...
Or is she on the Bachelor payroll, therefore, if he's going to be the Bachelor, it would be better with support of Gabby.
Very true. But I also think Gabby does not take crap. If she was upset about it and really, like... I feel like we could tell. I don't know. I feel like Gabby specifically would give him a piece of her mind. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope that we hear.
Yeah, so that'll be really interesting. They were getting eaten alive in the Bachelors in City podcast comments. Okay, another thing that happened this week was Katie Thurston was on the Off the Vine podcast with Caitlin Bristow. It was her first time on a podcast and speaking out since the whole Nick drama, since the John breakup, and boy, did she spill the tea. So apparently, John broke up with her twice. And reason, and she was like devastated. She feels good now, but she was like full on devastated. He said that she didn't like enjoy his passions with him, and he wanted someone who did that. And I'm like, didn't she like jump out of a freaking airplane twice, if not more, for him? And then also would like go to surfing lessons with him. Like she was really, really trying. And she even said herself, she was like trying to kind of be what John wanted. And it ended up being really unhealthy. And she was also confused, and part of the reason why she was so pissed, like at the dump, about the dumping, is because they were friends for like a good amount of time before. He knew Katie. So like if that was going to bother him, why did he get in a relationship with her anyway? And then also when the dumping happened, John was really pressuring her on telling people that they weren't together because I guess Katie says that he really cares about what people think and what social media thinks. And so that's why she just almost in spite kind of was like, remember what she did? She did an Instagram story statement. We are not together because he was pushing her. So she just threw that up there really fast without even telling him. So, I mean, I think that was mostly the tea for that. And then she spoke up about the Nick drama. And we know, first of all, she didn't say stop wearing my clothes pod. But a reminder, we're the ones who screen recorded her live that started this whole drama. And I'm very proud of it. And she's even said that. She's like, yeah, it was like a live. Someone screen recorded it for 60 seconds. And it turned into all this drama and content and podcasts, etc. And she said the reason why she initially blocked Nick Viall, funny enough, was because he shared her personal text messages with someone else. And then with the Natalie reading Nick's and Katie's text messages, she's like, felt validated. Excuse me. she felt validated because she's like, that's the reason why I blocked you in the first place, bro. And she also said she stood by that text. She felt like us, where we didn't think it was like this gotcha moment that Nick Viall thought it was. And she's like, yeah, I would have said that to anybody. Like, and then she actually, I wasn't going to talk about this because they spoke a lot, and it's really good. You guys should watch it off the Vine. And Katie's is the newest episode. And she also, it was kind of the first time I heard her talk positively about Greg, of just like kind of hating the negativity of anytime she speaks his name. And she also, there's a rule, you can't talk to each other after the show is aired. They want like after the final rose to be like raw and the first time that you guys talk. But she really wishes that she could have had a private talk with him, because she thought that after the final rose could have been so different if they just communicated. And it was just kind of like a big misunderstanding that kind of turned into a clusterfuck, even though I lived for that moment on AFR. But she also said that, you know how on Instagram, like sometimes people DM you, and if you aren't friends with them or something like that, like it goes into kind of like a file and you don't really check them as much. She went through it a couple months ago and Greg popped up. She clicked on it and nothing was on there. So what that means is Greg DM'd her and then deleted it.
Yeah, and sent it.
So I thought that was kind of some tea. But it was really good. And I just, her next step is she wants to do a podcast, YouTube channel. She's just kind of figuring out what she can do per her contract and kind of getting back to the audience that she had before Bachelor on her TikTok. And I'm excited to follow and see what she does. And we are always Team Katie, or at least I am. You could speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Quick of what happened. I probably should do like an actual TikTok of the kind of top things. I'll probably do that. And then also, I didn't want to worry people about Clacy because I did an update on TikTok, but I did on here about them moving to separate states and us kind of getting worried about them. But thankfully, Zach Reality called them up, and 100% they are not breaking up. They have a plan like a month from now to like reevaluate and figure out like Susie's going ahead and like trying to find a place to live. And they're okay. They're just doing long distance for a short time.
Yeah, and it kind of made sense because he's moving in with his brother, and I think she just didn't really necessarily want to move in with his brother, so she's moving in with her friends, and then I thought that Clayton was going to find a house for them.
Yes, something like that, where it's not a long-term plan.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable and it makes sense. Like, exactly. If you can't, and also if you can't spend a couple months apart from each other without like figuring it out at that point in your relationship, then like,
yep, distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Me
and Marcus were long distance for 6 months, and then he dropped out of school and came back to me because he loves me. And he was literally home every weekend. He's kind of obsessed with me. But don't worry, he ended up getting his degree and he's my sugar daddy now. But that is all kind of the top news I care about and I think our listeners care about. And we are going to talk our recap for week 7 hometowns.
Here we go.
How is it already hometowns is my question.
I don't know. I feel like this season has been a blur.
It really has. I don't like it. It just sucks. I feel like it had so much potential. I just think they need to do a clean house, personally. I think everyone who is employed by the franchise needs to get canned, and we need fresh faces, fresh takes, because I'm getting annoyed. But I'll go more into that later. So week 7, hometowns. I thought I would get fashion out of the way just because I don't have a lot to say, but I want to make sure we're keeping this conversation going.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Overall, well, do you have anything to say, or is it just always a me segment?
No,
I have a fashion degree. I don't know if people know that or not.
I feel like most of the time I do have something to say, but this time I wasn't paying as much attention. I think just because of like, there wasn't there was like, it was just different. It was just different.
Even just one. There was one standout. No?
Let's hear it.
The trench coat on the Jersey Shore that Rachel was wearing. People are doing TikTok videos of her walking down the Jersey Shore with that giant trench coat with like Inspector Gadget songs. She looks like a private detective. It was bad. So bad that the Bachelorette stylist posted this. Let me read it.
Oh, Lord.
I guess I have a little bit more to say than I thought, but it was a moment. It was probably worst of the season so far, and that's saying a lot. So he posts a picture of the aforementioned coat. Carrie Fettman. Let me just start off with this one on Pilot Rachel and Tyler Norris's boardwalk date. Okay, before you all start going after me about how I hate her and need to be fired, let me be the first to say, you're right. This outfit is bad. This is what sometimes happens on hometowns. We packed for the whole week while we were in Amsterdam and sent them alone on their hometowns voyage based on the weather that is forecasted. But like everything else, weather changes, and sometimes a date has to change, and so forth. But we realize an unexpected storm may come, and temperatures can drop. We always hope we have sent extra pieces to move around. Unfortunately for the boardwalk, we had it. So at last minute, we just sent whatever raincoat we still had, and not being there, I couldn't just run into the store, add in the fact that she couldn't even wear a wedge or block heel, and presto, comes this. Of course, Rachel, being fun and easy, just tied the sleeves as tight as she could, put on the sneakers with a smile, and just went on her merry way. So at least he admits it.
Yeah. I think this is my issue with this conversation sometimes. It's like, who cares if they are happy in what they're wearing? Cool.
I care.
I know.
Okay. I just think there's an opportunity, especially all of these Bachelor Nation stars end up being fashion influencers and stuff like that. It's their way to go on national television, reach millions of people a week to show them who they are, what style they have, etc. And so I think it's important. But yeah, that was the main standout. Other than that, I loved all of Gabby's outfit. Rachel's were okay other than that. The only one I had another issue with is Gabby's hometown with Eric. I really loved, I love a good jumpsuit, but then she had the jean jacket over it, and it just kind of cheapened the whole look. But I'm guessing that might be another weather thing, like it was cold, but there could have been different jackets.
I also feel like this is me being who I am, though, so it's like, if that's her style and she's cool with it, more power to her. But I felt like the little black dress that she wore was Jason's.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it, but I don't know, just like meeting a parent wearing something so tight and so short, like that every time she stood up, she had to pull it down. It felt just a little bit like maybe there could have been a better choice. But that's also me being a little bit more like conservative or whatever.
Interesting.
So if she wants to wear that, that's fine.
That got my best dressed.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
No, I liked it for the date. I just felt like once she was going to the parents' house, it just seemed a little...
That makes sense. I get it. So speaking of Jason, that's a great segue. Amy, did you plan that? The first hometown was Jason and Gabby. First off, I loved the whole New Orleans vibe. I want to go so bad.
Mm-hmm. They had so much fun. And then adorable. When she was like, I'm going to get this guy to show me his winger or whatever word
she said dick.
I know, but I wasn't going to use that word for some reason. And was trying to throw him some beads. That made me laugh.
So funny. And I love kind of like, especially throughout the whole hometown, she was just like, do you think, like, am I too much? Like, we're two opposites. He's more toned down. I'm more like blah. Opposites attract, and I actually think it's the perfect balance. It's like me and Marcus, right?
Well, and I also felt like oh my gosh, his dance moves.
He's so cute. It was both of them, actually. No. It was rough.
No, I know. Well, I guess what was funny to me was like I felt like he was really trying and she was not. Like she wasn't helping him out at all.
It was really funny. Yeah, that was a bit awkward.
I thought it was actually cute though, because they were still having fun, you could tell.
I just love Jason so much. I love him. It really sucks he's so shy if he doesn't end up with Gabby. Like, I just don't think we'll see him again. But, like, I really loved him. This whole season, I've enjoyed watching him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that he would get, like, a Bachelor, of course. But I think that he could maybe go on Bachelor in Paradise.
I would love it. We'll see if he will do it or not. That would be amazing.
But he's kind of stabbed me in the heart a little bit.
Why?
Because he doesn't want to propose. Like, he's pretty adamant that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but to me personally, I think that shows, like, I don't know, how seriously he takes it. Like, I don't want someone just to propose because they're in this situation they feel like they have to. He really likes Gabby. Maybe does he say falling in love? He doesn't. Oh, no, he doesn't say that. But I don't know. I just feel like, and sometimes people end up not getting engaged and end up having like a longer relationship. I don't know. I just think it's like, actually, it makes me like him more.
Okay, this is how I feel about it.
Okay.
I don't actually, like, it stabbed me in the heart because if that's what Gabby actually really wants and that's important to her, but they haven't had that discussion, so maybe it'll go better than I think. I don't know. But if Gabby is wanting a proposal at the end, I just think that makes me sad because if that is a reason that they don't move forward, that sucks.
Yeah, I totally agree. But we haven't seen any of those conversations with Gabby. Gabby hasn't had at least that we've seen, with anybody. So it's kind of all up in the air at this point. And
I can see her being okay with it, though, possibly.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. I think they have a really special, like, deep bond. They like get each other, kind of like how Jason said. I did want to talk about it because in the intro we'll talk about like kind of our long weekend together. But to me, I was trying to think, if you and me were ever on The Bachelor, don't you think Dad would have his own date and then the rest of our family? Like kind of how Jason's did. Jason's dad, we'd pull like the Parent Trap maneuvers like we did this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Dad was so sweet. Like, might be one of my favorite dads that we've seen.
I think that his hometown date just really, like, solidified that he is a really, really good person.
I agree. I want his family to adopt me. I love his mom, his sister. I could see Gabby and the sister being like best friends. People are comparing her to Kelly Flanagan. She kind of.
I see that.
Yeah. The whole date gave me warm and fuzzies.
Yeah, I like that the mom, like when he said he wasn't gonna propose, though, that the mom was like, but what would it be like without her? Like, she loves Gabby, actually. But, like, loves Jason, of course, like, his choice. But still, they are rooting for that relationship, for sure.
Marcus thinks that the family looks like they're from, the Jersey Shore. Did you get that? I don't know. I'm curious what they're from, like, if they are based, like, they grew up from New Orleans, but that's what he said. I thought it was kind of funny. I think it's all kind of like Italian family kind of vibes. Yeah. I don't know. Alabaster. Is that Italian? I have no idea. I mean, so many Jersey boys this season that made it to hometowns. Yeah. 2 of them. But yeah, I mean, nothing really happened other than, I think the main points of that hometown is showing that Jason doesn't want to propose, and Gabby doesn't say it to him, but says in interviews that she is head over heels and falling in love. So, I mean, there's a lot left unsaid with them, I think. Okay, and then next we've got Zach and Rachel's hometown. What do you think?
Yes. I love that his first thing that he brought her to do is going to watch airplanes. Like, he is romantic. He's romantic. He loves her. He's
the real deal.
Yeah, I still feel kind of the way I felt before, that maybe there's something missing on her end of how she's feeling. But actually, in some ways, though, I think maybe this date definitely furthered them along.
I agree. It
makes me feel less that way.
If it was up to me, these first 2 hometowns would be endgame.
Yeah, I think
they're my 2 favorites.
So yeah, that was a very cute way to start, and I feel like was very sentimental and good. But then when they freaking got to her family's house, Uncle Pat, where did that come from?
Did you not see it in the sneak preview?
No.
Yes, the Emperor's New Groove guy.
Like,
I'm obsessed.
What the heck?
Where did that come from? The bonus scene at the end?
Yes. Yes.
He's so funny. I think it's just like a very genuine, cute family. I'm obsessed. Let's see. I also really liked the backyard movie. I thought it was cool that they actually was able to see their date and some, like, it was almost a highlight reel of Rachel and Zach's thing in front of their family, which I thought was so cool.
Yeah, except when they freaking had to make out and they had to sit and watch that.
Did you see Rachel? She's like, let's see. Oh, and then we've got the first one of the season. What did we get?
I love you?
Yeah, a full I love you from Zach. So that's huge. The first one of the season, not just for Rachel of all. And Rachel didn't say anything back, but in the interview, she says falling in love. So.
Well, but then this is also what she said.
Okay.
He says, everything I've been wanting to hear. My feelings are definitely growing. I don't know. To me, that just seems like she's a little behind from where he's feeling.
I could see that.
And so it just makes me nervous more than anything because I think that he is the least likely to break her heart.
He's the safe option. That's for sure.
Yes. Yeah. But then a lot of the time, that's what those guys are, which sucks because you want them to choose them, but then they just have that little something with someone else and it ruins everything. Cough, cough, Tino.
Yes, Tino. We're saving him for the end. Okay, Gabby and Johnny hometown. I love them personally. I think they are adorable. It definitely, the hometown kind of gave me Tyler Cameron vibes since he's also from I think same Jupiter, Florida, right? Mm-hmm. Or at least somewhere near there because the boat and that whole thing. So, super fun family. I felt like Gabby was the most at ease with his family and fit in the best in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that they always have so much fun together and I just really like them together.
Marcus was they're a good looking family. The guys are all Abercrombie and Fitch models. But then we got the second bomb that dropped.
I know, and this is why I'm why are all of Gabby's guys not wanting to commit?
Yes. So Johnny said that he doesn't think he's ready to propose. I have two thoughts. One, they also brought up finances, which you know how I feel about this, Amy. We've talked about it before in previous episodes. More when we started our podcast, we had some relationship episodes too, not just recaps. And it was also something that stopped my now husband to propose just because I think it's just ingrained in society that men have to be able to provide before they settle down or get married, whatever. And I think that's a pile of pooey.
I agree, but I do think it is definitely so many guys. Mm-hmm. So many guys say that as a
all my friends are dealing with the same thing, and I'm just it actually. Sorry to quote a Taylor Swift song, "The Paper Rings" from the Lover album. I like shiny things, but I'd marry you with paper rings. That's right, darling. You're the one I want. That's how us girls feel. Maybe some girls maybe feel different. But that's I wouldn't even care.
Yeah. Well, and also, you are dating the Bachelorette.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I don't think
money's gonna be an issue for a while.
No, and even then, how far they've gone, they could both make some serious money on social media.
Yeah, maybe he's insecure though about even having that conversation or something. Because that's still I don't know. I don't want to say it's embarrassing. Relationship. Yeah, it shouldn't be embarrassing, but at the same time, as a man, maybe he feels well, I don't want to propose and then not have any money and she's expecting something different from me or something like that. I don't know. Do you know what his job is?
No clue.
I forget.
No
clue.
I
forget.
So that was kind of my first point. My second point with this whole thing is it definitely shows a difference between Gabby's guys and Rachel's guys. Mm-hmm. Rachel has those kind of hopeless romantics, just fall in the ground, traditional. And Gabby's is just a little bit more realistic, maybe more grounded. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's interesting because it also and this is not in a bad way to you or Jared or me or Marcus. It's just I also feel like Jared, your husband, also is a bit of a hopeless romantic and gave you a heart-shaped rock that he found as a kid that he promised he would give to his wife one day. That's a Zach and Tyler move. Like, they would totally do that. And Marcus, I don't know. He actually just showed me his rock collection this weekend, and we're going to use it as decoration. But he didn't give me a heart-shaped one. I'm actually mad. But it also just, I think, kind of shows that, like, it's interesting how that works.
Mm-hmm. No, I see that. And I think that I feel like we know for sure what Rachel wants, but I haven't gotten a clear picture of what Gabby wants. I know that it's not necessarily as traditional because she is not even sure if she wants to have kids or like when, if, whatever that situation is. So maybe she really isn't gung-ho on like, I need to be engaged, I need to get married, I need to do this. And I feel like Rachel is more like in a place where she's ready to like start a family and ready. The guys are reflecting that. So I'm just, I don't know if excited is the right word, but I want to hear kind of these more conversations with Gabby and her guys. So at least that they're on the same page, because that's, I think, something that is a problem in these relationships too, because the guys think because they're on this show that they need to do this, and that can be holding them back if they don't just have the conversation and then just like be at peace to like let the feelings grow.
Yeah. And in that sneak preview, we definitely see that they have those conversations. I'm kind of scared.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me see if I have anything else to say about Johnny. No, I don't. I don't think he's the one for her. I wish he would be. I think he's cool. Like, I like him, but probably not. But it was cute. It's good hometown.
Yeah.
Solid. Yeah. 10 out of 10. Rachel and Tyler. It was painful. It was painful. Rachel and Tyler's hometown. They went to the Jersey Shore, which was fun, which is actually, I don't know if I'm a huge Jersey Shore fan. I'm actually watching Jersey Shore Family Vacation for the first time right now. Follow me on TikTok. And this is, I saw a meme, but I'm gonna copy the meme. Tyler should have known. Never fall in love at the Jersey Shore. The Jersey Shore quote for those OGs. Okay, moving on. Amy, you go.
Okay, just the whole time, she should have spoken up faster. That's all I have to say. Like, she knew within, like, pretty quick, I feel like, that she wasn't... Okay, sorry, I'm getting all Twitter paid. Let me think for a second. I feel like it seemed, because she gave him that group date rose, that she was very sure. And then it seemed like the second... right after she had the Zach date, she knew that her feelings for Tyler were not going to happen, like, as far as getting to where her and Zach are. So I feel like she should have sat down and had the conversation a little quicker, because then all of a sudden she's meeting all of his friends. She's meeting all these people. And then she goes to sit down with him, and she needed to take the lead of that conversation. She does not know how to break up with people, man. Holy crap, that sucked.
It was rough.
I hated it.
Did you see her break the fourth wall? As soon as he said, I love you, she looks up at the camera like death eyes. And she's like, I just told you guys I wanted to break up with him. And you guys totally told Tyler to tell me I love him. Like, she was just like, she looked up and she could just see the anger in her eyes right at the camera. I'll send you a picture. It's hilarious. It was a total Jim Halpert moment. But yeah, it was rough. It was rough. But
I just wrote down, oh my gosh, Tyler, make him stop talking, pouring his freaking heart out. I'm so in love with you. And I'm like, why? Like, just stop him from talking.
But I loved how he reacted, like how he responded. Yes. Like, Tyler for Bachelor, I think could be a real possibility. Like, I think he would be amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
And we need a Guido. Okay. Guido Bachelor. All right. And then we've got Gabby and Eric's hometown. I just wrote down the word heartbreaking in my notes. It's just really sad. It's just sad. Like, I don't know what else to really say.
Yeah, and what an intimate thing to allow Gabby to be a part of, even, like, to even introduce.
Yeah, and I was, like, really thinking, you can't manufacture that type of bonding. Like, to the other two guys, like, it's nothing against them, or maybe they couldn't get there if something big was happening in their life, but, like, that type of like life and death and family moment, like it bonds people in a way that you just can't get there unless it's something like, I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
And especially since he has passed, if Gabby and Eric are together, like think about like the first year together, like could you imagine the first year you're with Jared, like one of his parents passes and stuff like having to deal with that, like being that support, and like that's like a lot for a couple to go through early. And maybe it could make them even closer. But I think it could also be the opposite effect too. So it will be interesting to kind of see how that affected their relationship if they are the people, which I think they are. I really do.
Yeah. Well, he was also the only one that like really said he's ready to commit completely.
Oh, totally. Like they both said falling in love. When the Bachelorette says falling in love,
that's a big
deal. It's a big
especially
deal.
To Rachel and Gabby, because obviously what they went through, they're not going to say it lightly.
Yeah. So right now, something I think giant would have to happen for Eric not to be the one at the end. That's personally what I think.
And actually, and I actually saw a different side of him. I maybe understood him a little more, and like, think about you going through that in your life, dealing with like a long death too. Like, I mean, it's been like years kind of waiting for it to happen or whatever.
It's awful.
You might not be so open and so, whatever when you're dating. You might be a little more closed off, which we've seen. And also his like relationship with his mom also gave me like good feelings towards him, because I feel like
we love a mama's boy.
That night. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. And so I did want to bring something up because on TikTok, like after the one-on-one date, I did a post about Eric, and it said something to the effect of like, I don't like Eric. I just like kind of woman's intuition. Something's off. And that Gabby should run far, far away. So after the hometowns, it didn't age too well. And then all of a sudden, like it went mega viral the first time. But now since people are like looking up Eric and stuff like that, it's on people's For You pages again. So I'm getting a lot of like, oh, his dad died. Like, I just want to make sure that people know that I wasn't being disrespectful, and I have so much just love and sending so much love to the family after that loss, 100%. And I really, my opinions have changed slightly of seeing a bigger picture of Eric, but I still do have a feeling, and I'm not going to go back on that. But what I do want to say is I think a big portion of that feeling I have is the editing. And especially if he's the end game for Gabby, I feel a little confused. I also feel like I actually am going to post a video today. It'll be out by the time we do this episode. But I feel like with two Bachelorettes, we just haven't been able to see the show like we normally do and get invested in these contestants, get invested in these relationships. And as someone who was just so excited for a Gabby season, yes, I like Rachel too. Like, I don't have anything against Rachel, but we've been very open. We're Gabby's dingbats. We are a big fan of hers, you know? And that I wasn't able to, I wanted to be fully invested and super excited about whoever she picked. And I don't feel that. And it's not, I don't think it's even maybe his fault. Like, I liked him in the beginning, like the mullet, he's kind of got a weird vibe. Like, it could have gone a different way if they showed us it differently, or maybe we had more time just to follow one person's love story versus two. I don't know. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, and I actually would say just this whole season has been so focused on drama and like manipulation of our brains from them to us, like that they're not giving us a love story. I would say though, Zach on Rachel's, like you see that progression pretty good. There has been,
I think there has been some that they've shown more than others, which is why it's confusing if Eric is the one, which I just have a feeling he is. But maybe he's not.
Well, but either way, I feel like this is how I felt the entire season.
Okay.
Caution. To every single date, I'm not enjoying it and feeling like I'm not enjoying watching it. I'm like anxiety ridden. Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Is this person gonna say they're gonna go back to Rachel? Is this like they don't have any support, so it just feels like I want to just like hug them all and be like, protect these girls, quit it, like knock it off. Like the whole season has been that way.
I 100% agree. They don't protect their leads anymore.
Yeah.
It's sad.
And some people still do want to watch a love story. We don't need all the drama all the time, especially when it's like manipulated drama, like the way Jesse walked in. Oh, we're not having a cock. Like, why do I keep only saying cock and not?
Can you just say what Jack is? Because there's a reason you probably have cock on the mind.
Okay, my son, he used to say chickens, but all of a sudden he is calling chickens cocks. So he goes around and he's like, big cock, cocks, cocks, oh, cocks. And just all the time because we have chickens next door. And he even just randomly yells it sometimes when we're in public, and it's quite embarrassing.
Yep. So,
but anyways, I was saying cocktail party, like they say all these things that's just like creating false drama, and like even the sneak previews, like everything is so misleading that now I'm just sitting here and I'm like, what is actually happening, man?
I agree.
Like, what? You guys are crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And I just want the love.
Same.
I just want the love. And that's why I watch.
I liked the idea initially of having 2 bachelors next to make it even, because it's just like, of course they would have 2 bachelorettes. Pitting them in against each other is the OG of what the society does.
And they've already done it once, so.
Yeah, but now like I don't, just because I don't want to have another season like this where I overall have not enjoyed it as much. And that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
And I want to enjoy it. We have a podcast about it. We need to enjoy what we're watching and what we're like talking about, which I mean, I do still to a certain extent, but
no, for sure.
So yeah, that's how I feel about Gabby and Eric's hometown. And I don't think I have anything else to say.
Me neither. So let's move on to Tino.
You start, because I'm irritated.
Once they got to the family, I felt like there was just way too much pressure, like from both of them. Like I feel like Tino freaked Rachel out, and Rachel was like, they have to like me. And so when they went in, instead of just letting the family see them be natural together, they came in with Tino just instantly trying to convince them and like saying very cheesy things that like, if that was being said to me and I was already skeptical, I would be like, dude, like you need to chill out and like get back to reality. Like what is going on?
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
So I feel like that was a bad start. I also just think I don't want to be too mean.
Be mean.
I'm trying to figure out how to word this. It didn't make me think any better of Tino after meeting his family.
It's a very...
if anything, it made me feel a lot worse. I wouldn't necessarily say, like, I think his mom and dad are bad people or anything like that at all. Very, very skeptical. But I just thought that they could have handled it a little bit nicer, too. Like, instead of making her the enemy, like, kind of... I'm not really quite sure, but that whole thing, I just hated the whole thing.
It was rough. Basically, Tino's dad was a dick to Rachel. And even the mom wasn't that nice either. But what I think I hated the most is, like, yeah, you're right. It was just very, like, robotic of Tino, like how he was talking and stuff like that. I thought Rachel did a great job under the circumstances. But I think this is what pissed me off more than the Tino dad thing, is when they went outside and Tino's like, they loved you. They adored you. And Rachel's just like, what the fuck? Like, he lied. And I'm sorry. That makes him a liar. And that means he'll lie about other things. I just don't like Tino. I know people like Tino. People want him for Bachelor. And I'm just like, he might just shut down the podcast if he becomes Bachelor, because it's just going to be a full-on hate fest. And I don't want that. We're positive vibes. And I don't like him. And that's why I'm so irritated, because I don't like Tino. Eric, you know, it is what it is. So it's going to be like my 2 least favorites of each Bachelorette are going to probably win.
Yeah.
Or win, whatever you want to say.
How did it go from that terrible of a hometown to like saying that they're falling in love with each other? That he's either a master manipulator, she's just so blind that she, like with, I don't know, the second she saw him, she's been blind.
I agree.
You could tell the second she saw him that there was.
He went up on that tractor.
Yeah, but that afterward thing, I was like, you guys are being really stupid. Like, that needs to at least be more of a conversation.
I agree.
Like something that I'm not saying it couldn't have ended on a good note, but like not that good of a note. Yeah. Like what she's, but then okay, then these are 2 things that I thought of. Her family was really harsh. She comes from a family that she knows is very protective of her. Therefore, maybe she was more understanding to the way that they reacted. So that's number 1. And then number 2 is she wanted him to just make it better because she cares so much for him that she just kind of took whatever he said and just was like, okay, I'm going to take that as truth and like, let's make out and love each other.
So they both said.
But that's going to bite her in the butt.
Oh, I know.
Bite her in the butt.
Both said they're falling in love with each other. So, I mean, there's the only 2 people that both Bachelorettes said what their feelings were to them is Tino and Eric. And that's why I think they're the ones.
I'm more on board for the Eric situation than I am for the Tino.
Too.
100%.
I am too. Yeah, I totally agree with you. So, I mean, really, these next, so we still have fantasy suites and we still have, like, the finale. So, even though they're putting it kind of in, like, 1 episode. What?
And we still have Avon's hometown.
Oh, I forget about him. I'm sorry, he's out.
I know.
I'm not worried about him.
No, I know, but that's just weird that we still don't have that.
So weird. So next week is Avon's hometown and Men Tell All. And then the next week is the finale. So they're going to put the fantasy suites and finale thing together in 1 episode.
So basically all we're going to get is drama the whole entire time and them crying over one scenario and then a teeny bit of love maybe.
Yeah. Do you have any predictions now after watching the sneak preview of how you think it could turn out? Because I know it's very misleading, but from what we know, we're pretty good at what happens with the Bachelorette and now how misleading things are that we could maybe pick apart, seeing what we think could happen.
Well, the one thing is who is going to tell Gabby that she's unlovable or make her feel that way?
So
who is going to do that to her?
What I was thinking is Jason or Johnny might express not wanting to get engaged. And, we've had a full season of men not communicating correctly. So maybe it could just kind of veer off course and it could kind of turn into something. What I think personally is when Jesse goes up to Rachel and says Gabby won't be at this rose ceremony, I think Gabby and Eric run off to the sunset pretty quickly into the finale. And I think it's going to end more of the last rose ceremony will just be Rachel because Gabby's already sent all the other guys home. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay, I could see that. My other conclusion I drew to that is just maybe that they're just totally separating it for the last part. And so that because the way that he says that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, you could totally be right.
Because he says things to be manipulative. Like Jesse, now I believe nothing that he says in anything.
No, he's a liar just like Tino. But yeah.
Yeah, so
that's all she wrote.
And then I guess the person who maybe is gonna say something's gonna happen with Zach too.
Oh yeah, because I remember at the very beginning when he talks to Jesse and he's like, "What are you gonna tell her?" Or
I don't know, but I am looking forward to it. I just need it concluded. I'm ready to.
I know. Sorry, I have one more prediction I just came up with.
No,
Tino is going to not allow Rachel to have overnights with other guys. I think that's going to be a thing. He's very controlling. He's very jealous. We've seen. I could see that being somewhere in there.
Totally, and that could be where she said, like, the overnight there was a complete 180 because, like, maybe they enjoyed their time, and then he's like, "Oh, yeah, by the way."
Yeah, almost kinda like Susie did. But no, we've forgiven
Mhm.
Susie. Susie and Clayton, we love you. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we'll see. And we're actually going to play a
Yep.
game inspired by Caitlin Bristow's Off the Vine podcast called Mount Rushmore. So stay tuned. Oh, there's my cat. We are playing Mount Rushmore. So the name of the game is Who is Your Mount Rushmore of Bachelor Nation? And we were inspired by Caitlin Bristow's Off the Vine podcast. She had Katie on, like we talked about in the intro, and I just thought it'd be fun. And there's really different ways of doing it. It's like what other people see, who your favorites are. So we're just kind of going to talk about it and see who our Mount Rushmores would be. Amy, I want you to go first.
Okay. JoJo, Fletcher.
Oh, okay.
And Caitlin Bristow.
Okay.
And Joe Amabile. And I didn't think of a second guy yet because I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, those are good. I wasn't expecting JoJo, but I know you really like her. I mean, I like her too. Really she was like one of my favorite bachelorettes.
Yeah, and I guess I feel like JoJo has done what the show used to be. Like, I feel like she was maybe one of the ending ones where, well, of course she still does stuff like Bachelor-wise, but also like she just found her love of her life and then just like
she's doing some cool stuff.
To like, yeah, to fulfill her passion in life versus like, I'm not saying like other people just want attention, but at the same time, it's like she came to find the love of her life and then now she's just like living life. And I think that that's really cool.
Yeah, maybe like kind of that more authentic feeling, like almost like Desiree Hartstock, for example. Now she's back in Seattle, has kids with her pick, and like designs wedding
dress. Yeah.
I looked at her wedding dresses when I got married just because I thought that would be fun. Yeah, you're right. I like that aspect of it. At the same time, I do also really respect Caitlin Bristow and how she has built this mega brand just from being a reality star. Like, I don't think a lot of people have done what she's done.
I agree 100%.
They've done it in like two different ways, but both just as good. Okay, cool. So I had trouble with the guys. The girls were easy for me. The girl I did was Hannah Brown and Caitlin Bristow.
Oh, yeah, Hannah Brown.
Yeah, she's my number one favorite bachelorette. Between her and Caitlin, they're my top two, I think.
Yeah.
And the guys I had a hard time with, and I'm trying to actually think of who I'm going to actually say. Nick Vial and Joe Amabile.
Yeah.
I almost did Tyler Cameron.
Yeah?
Yeah, just because he's like this unattainable force of like, he's like maybe the only one who's gone so above Bachelor that even if Bachelor begged, like I don't think he'd be Bachelor. And there's something like kind of that I like about that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Before we hated Tino, or people, I don't know what people think about Tino, but like they were comparing him to Tyler Cameron because they're both in construction and they both kind of have the same look.
They have a similar look for sure.
Yeah. So that's my Mount Rushmore of the Bachelor Nation. Send us on Instagram or email, or just let us know who your Mount Rushmore is because I'm very interested. What's going on next week, Amy?
Okay, so next week we are going to be having the boys on because it's Men Tell All, and our men are going to tell all too.
Yes, and another reminder, we are now the rest of Bachelorette season and going into Bachelor in Paradise. Our new episodes will come out Friday. So this one has come out Friday, and it will be like that for the foreseeable future until we let you know. And so make sure you follow us on TikTok at Stop Wearing My Clothes Pod, Instagram, Facebook. One of these days I'll get back on Pinterest and Twitter, but we do have one. And what else? Anything?
Email us any hot takes, predictions, say hi, whatever you want at stopwearingmyclothespodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and then if you are video watchers, you're watching us now on YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And then Apple Podcasts, if you could rate and review. And actually, I would love it. We're trying to we have a Facebook page we're active on, but I'm trying to grow it a little bit more. So if you guys wouldn't mind, if you like our show, just put a review on Facebook too. We would love that, and make sure you're following us. And we're excited. We're in the home stretch, and we've loved recapping this with you. And we're sad to see Amy go in a couple weeks. She's going to be back. Don't worry. She's one half of the podcast, but she's too busy making babies. So I already have some people in the works that I think you guys will be excited about that will be guest co-hosting with me. So just keep following our socials to get updates on all of that.